How do you do? The man in this story excelled at sports. For the thrill of winning, he did everything from downhill ski racing to whitewater kayaking on the Colorado River, from deep-sea scuba diving to parasailing, and he conquered everything he attempted. And yet there was one challenge that baffled him, that he failed to grasp, though he tried. But it gave him the biggest thrill of all when his heart and mind and life were unshackled.
This is the summit, friends. The rooftop of Europe. Breathtaking view, isn't it?
No, there's nothing like skiing the Alps.
Okay, all right, listen up, everyone. We are at 9,000 feet above sea level. There are no trails to follow until we get to the tree line, 3,000 feet down. It is absolutely essential that we stay as close as possible to one another. If we get spread out, the last person could easily make a wrong turn and wind up miles and miles from us. Please, stay close to the person in front of you and turn precisely where I turn. Getting lost up here can be very risky.
Bringing hope to a troubled world, this is Unshackled. True life stories of real people, dramatized and produced in Chicago by Pacific Garden Mission. Hope is vital to mankind, especially the homeless. And more than anything else, Pacific Garden Mission offers hope to everyone who enters the old lighthouse. Day and night, hundreds of men, women, and children come through the doors that never close, where the motto is, never give up on them. No matter how hopeless the man or the woman or the situation, pastors and counselors have seen miracles of transformation. Souls redeemed from despair, lives reclaimed from failure. And thanks to financial gifts of friends, the mission provides food, fresh clothing, and a safe place to sleep, as well as medical and dental care if needed, and all without charge. But the greatest gift of all is new life, and that's what this program celebrates. And now for broadcast around the earth, here's program number 2948 in the series, Unshackled, the program that makes you face yourself and think.
Ten, 11, 12. Okay, I've counted twice and someone is missing. And nowhere in sight.
Hey, look down there.
Oh no, she made a wrong turn. She's right in a major avalanche chute.
Oh, hey, isn't that the spot where 16 teenagers lost their lives?
Yeah, and we had fresh snow last night.
Oh, she can't climb out of there.
Yeah, I'll have to go after her, Jean-Jacques. Lead the class down to the trees, and I'll meet you at the trail. Listen, everyone, follow this man and stay together, and no shouting.
The man in our story was then a ski instructor in the Swiss Alps, one of many exciting sports he loved. He was born in Paris to a French mother and an American father who met during World War II. He spoke French before he learned English, attended school in both countries, giving him a unique world view. But it was the certainty of something he didn't have that haunted his life. This is the true testimony of Jerry Kaifetz, right now on Unshackled.
French schools were more difficult than American schools, so I always played catch-up in France. My grandmother, who was an educator, taught me the rich heritage of European culture and history as we walked together to historical sites. But I loved my time in the U.S. We lived on the western shore of Lake Champlain in Upper New York. Dad owned a clothing store and encouraged me to follow my Jewish heritage. I didn't because God seemed so distant and austere. My dad had competed in sports during his college years, so I learned to ski and compete in sports also. As a young high schooler, I went scuba diving one day with friends on Lake Champlain. We paired up, and when my partner and I finished our dive, we returned to shore. Another diver returned without his partner, who was in distress, so I swam out to help him.
I'm out of air. I'm exhausted. I need help.
Chappie, drop your weights.
No, man, just pull me in.
It's a half mile to shore. Drop your weights.
Are you crazy? Those weights cost $20.
Let go. Drop them.
Pull me in, Jerry. Just pull me in.
I managed to tow him to shore, where I felt like beating him over the head with the weights, but I was too exhausted. He held them up, saying, $20, man. In high school, I took up wrestling, mainly to keep in shape. My best friend Barney, a Golden Glove boxing champion, also wrestled, and we had to wrestle each other to see who would represent our school in varsity matches.
So, tell me about the wrestling match, Jerry.
Oh, you won't believe it, Dad.
Well, what? What happened?
Well, we finished all 3 periods with no takedown, and the score was tied.
So what'd the coach do?
Well, he made us go at it again for 2 more 2-minute periods.
Oh, on top of 6 minutes?
Yeah, we were both exhausted.
Well, you probably know each other's moves, too.
Exactly. I was ahead when Barney tied the score again, just as the whistle blew. So we had to go again for 2 more 1-minute periods. We tied again.
That is incredible.
The coach said, we gotta have a winner. Barney wanted to give it to me, but the coach didn't buy that. He gave us 2 minutes of rest and then told us to go for sudden death.
Where the first point wins all.
Yeah. I won. I'm just lucky, I guess. But I sure am beat. While I went off to college after high school, my friend Barney joined the military, where he got in trouble with drugs and ended up killing himself to avoid going to jail. I was devastated by his death, and it caused me to wonder about the real purpose of life and where was God in the whole scheme. Barney had lost his final wrestling match. One summer, our family had a reunion in Glenwood Springs, Colorado. I wanted to go whitewater rafting, but the sky was overcast and no one else wanted to go that day. So I went to the river alone and talked with the guides.
Well, since you're alone, the only thing we can offer is a kayak.
Oh, great.
You know, we've had a lot of snow melt and rain this summer, so the river's higher than usual. That means big rapids.
Well, that's why I'm here.
We can take you upstream if you like. The river's safer up there.
No, I'm looking for adventure. What are my chances of making it through Bad Boy, right side up?
How good are you?
I can handle boats.
If you're real good, your chances are probably just under 50-50.
I had never been alone in a kayak before that day, but I had spent most summers on Dad's boat, and he taught me how to maneuver the waves. So I launched into the river and shot through successfully higher and faster rapids, followed by stretches of calm water. Suddenly I heard what sounded like a jet plane in the distance. I was approaching the Bad Boy Rapids. The roar became deafening. I tried desperately to get to shore, but it was too late. The river carried me around the sharp bend into the churning torrent of waves coming from 2 directions. I paddled desperately to keep the kayak headed into the waves of white water towering above me. Somehow, I kept the little boat upright and finally passed beyond the rapids into calmer water. I had survived. This was the late 60s, and our family went through similar turbulence during those years as my parents divorced. Soon they found other mates and remarried. I was already smoking pot in college when I met the high priest of LSD and took his advice. I turned on, tuned in, and dropped out. Soon I found myself in the heart of the hippie movement in San Francisco.
Hello?
Dad? It's your wayward son.
Where are you, Jerry?
Still in Haight-Ashbury?
Everything okay?
Oh, everything's groovy. I've met some cool musicians. I even watched them make records in their recording studio.
Uh-huh. You going back to college?
Oh, no way. I reject the goals of the establishment.
You sound like some of the kids I see on TV, protesting the war.
I've been protesting the war too, Dad. I've been to jail a couple of times, just overnight.
I'm sorry to hear that, son.
Why? It's the American way. Fight for what you believe in. I traveled all over the U.S. and made a lot of money selling LSD. After an all-night party in Miami, I flew back to San Francisco, where the FBI arrested me. I had 2 ounces of cocaine on me. Well, what do you think, counselor?
Well, Jerry, it's your first drug bust, so I think it can get you off. I talked to the prosecutor, and he wants to send you to the sheriff's honor camp.
Honor camp?
Yeah, it's in San Mateo.
For how long?
6 months, but I think I can get you off completely.
Don't bother. I'll go to the honor camp. At the honor camp, I taught remedial English and math to the inmates. And when I was free again, I quit using drugs and dedicated myself to finding truth. But I had no idea where to look for it. One day, an old hippie friend came to visit.
How you doing, Jerry?
Oh, fine. Oh, but what happened to you, dude? Haircut, normal clothes? Have you gone straight on me?
Man, I found true peace and happiness, Jerry.
No kidding. Where? How?
I joined a religious order, man. Eastern religion is where it's all at. You find yourself only when you deny yourself.
Yeah?
Yeah, man, I've learned to let go of material things that like drag you down. You should come to some of our classes, Jerry.
Well, maybe I will. The change in him was so startling that I began attending their classes. I had already given most of my possessions away in my personal search for truth, so I joined their group, working at their city missions. I studied Hindu writings and Hebrew mysticism.
Hey, what are you up to, Jerry?
Well, I'm writing my own paraphrased version of the New Testament.
Wow, man, pretty ambitious. How far along are you?
I'm about finished. I've been at it for 6 months now.
Hey, I'm impressed.
I want to understand this man, Jesus, and why he has so many followers.
He was a great avatar.
Yeah, but there's still so much I don't get.
It's a journey, my friend. That's all. It's a journey.
After 3 years, I saw the futility of this group, and I left and went back to Europe, where our family had a villa on the French Riviera. I drove into the mountains and parked where I could see more than 100 miles. I knew there had to be a God who created this beauty, yet I was haunted by my inability to reach him. There was a wall between us, a wall I couldn't penetrate or climb. That was perhaps the saddest day of my life.
Very shortly, we'll hear how that would change for Jerry. When travel or work keeps you away from this program, you can still listen by going to our website, unshackled.org, and choose among hundreds of dramas online, many in Spanish. Just click on Listen Online and make your selection. At our website, you can also submit a prayer request or your own testimony for consideration as an Unshackled drama. You can order story booklets to use in personal evangelism or browse through the pictures of the new building under construction. You'll also find pictures of Unshackled being produced from years past to the present. There's a history of Pacific Garden Mission, a description of ways to get involved in helping the homeless, and best of all, a site that tells how to get to heaven. Now, we hope you'll visit our website soon, unshackled.org. For more information, just write to Pacific Garden Mission, Chicago, Illinois, 60605. Our email address is unshackled@pgm.org, and please include your address.
Skiing was still my passion, had been for 20 years. I was on pro ski patrol in Flagstaff, Arizona, when a friend told me about a job with a chain of worldwide resorts. Because of my French, I was accepted. I sold everything, and they flew me to the island of Martinique, where I taught water skiing and became a master scuba diver. During a night dive, I decided to conquer all fear of darkness. I sat on the ocean floor, turning my back on the others, and turned off my light. My imagination soon had me scurrying to catch up to the other divers. When I told my mom's new husband about it and my adventurous lifestyle, his comments surprised me.
Sounds like an interesting job, Jerry.
Oh, I love it. Great food, actresses and models from all over the world. The water is 83 degrees and so clear. I go scuba diving every day.
When are you going to get serious about life, Jerry?
What for?
So you can have a successful career and stability.
In the past year, what was the most exciting experience you had?
I took a week's vacation in the tropics.
Oh, that's where I live 6 months a year. Why should I trade that to put on a suit every day and only get to be on an island for a week?
You just need to establish some roots in life.
I have roots. I just haven't found the right soil.